excited to see our boy out there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see as well if Nate Hobbs makes it out there in week 1. So he was back at practice today in a limited fashion. As you can see here, Matt Schneidman tweeted this video out. Listen, we're going to break down. Oh, somebody busted it over there, didn't I? I just noticed that. Who was that? Let's see. I give him a negative mark here. Who was it? It's 37. Who's 37? Talk to me, boys.
37.
Couldn't tell you.
All right, let's go to the tape here. Let's go to the defensive depth chart.
It was Baldwin at one point, I thought, but he's not.
Yeah, we're done for.
Hold up. So it's not there. What about the practice squad? We got him on the practice squad. 37, Jonathan Baldwin. There it is. You named it. So Jonathan Baldwin, Bub, work on that balance, okay? I say that as I'm sitting here 20 pounds overweight after eating some Doritos, but funny how that works. So, but nonetheless, Nate Hobbs, when you watch this video, guys, to me, he looks a little ginger, like he's running a little gingerly. Tim, how do you feel? I see you nodding your head. I'm kind of trending towards he's probably not going to play this week. What do you think?
Give me some Carrington Valentine on Sunday. Let's go. I think there's no reason to rush Nate back from this rehab process. You know, we know he went and decided to have the surgery, which was smart. And you're right. I agree with you, man. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a trainer, but that doesn't look like starting corner agility right there. That looks like I'm trying to get back and get my legs underneath me. It is good to see him out there, you know, kind of mirroring the drills and running with the guys again. At least, you know, they've cleared him to do that. And, you know, the process is, you know, going forward. But he, just based off this little bit that we've seen, I wouldn't run him out there on Sunday. I really wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Jacob, Emilio, how do y'all feel about this? You think he's got a shot to play week 1, or do you think we sit?
What do you go ahead, Emilio?
I would say he is not playing week 1. I appreciate him getting back out there, but there's, like Tim was saying, no reason to rush the man. You can see it in this clip. The dude went 3 yards back and forth, you know, on a 5-yard drill kind of thing, and it's nothing against him. It's like, dude, take your time. If it's doesn't feel right, take a breather. We'll get you in next week. We have a little bit of depth to work with. We have a lot of safeties we can make do with it. You know, and then again, you're adding. I kind of like it too. You're almost adding pieces. Even same with Micah, you're adding pieces later on in the year, so you're not always giving everything up first day, first play, first game, all of that. You're kind of adding to it, blending it all as it comes together later on.
Don't forget about that stud corner we have in Bo Melton too. You know, you can always run Keyshawn back in the slot in the pinch and
look at 2-7.
Let Bo get out there, right?
Bo.
Wouldn't that be so fitting that Bo Melton gets a little playing time on Sunday and he gets a pick 6? How awesome would that be? I would lose my mind, man. Schlechter sucks. Not an insider, of course. He's one of the people that got the other day by the
who?
CV and Nixon outside, Bull in the slot? ? Who's first up if we have 2 nickel DBs on 3rd and long? So that's the way I see it. Would be CV. Carrington Valentine and Nixon on the outside, Bull in the slot.
Yep.
So if for some reason, whether a safety get banged up or Bullard leaves out of the game, I think you'll probably have to go to Nixon in the slot and then bring someone else in on the outside. What do you guys think? I'm going to pull it up here because, again, we were showing on our depth chart for the longest time as the backup slot corner being our boy Kalen King, who's no longer on the team, right? So with that being said, who do we have in the slot here? Nickelback. So they don't show anybody. So let's try to cipher through that real quick, man. Keyshawn Nixon, right, would be probably the backup slot to this point with Nate Hobbs being out. I mean, it wouldn't be Carrington. He's strictly an outside guy. I don't think you put Bo Melton in there.
Honestly,
Bullard and Nixon are your slots, right?
Yeah.
Is Hobbs still out though?
That's what we were just talking about with here. I'm kind of expecting Hobbs.
So if Hobbs is still out, I would say it would be Keyshawn, Carrington outside, Bull, and Evan Williams in the slot, or maybe Catan in the slot.
There you go.
And Evan Williams, and if we're running dime, right, then you got Evan Williams and X out there.
And I don't think that sounds horrible, to be honest with you. However, I think we just uncovered kind of a weak spot on this roster right now. One of the very few weak spots right now, Jacob. What do you think?
Do we get a Micah Robinson activation maybe?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Do we see Micah as a slot? You know what I mean? I don't know if I see Micah Robinson as a slot. That's the thing. Chad
I
Inks
just
has
meant it's like an
Michael
extra boundary corner. If you've got to tie up, Keyshawn in the slot with Bullard, that gives you a little freedom if you activate another boundary guy.
That's true. Chad Inks says put Micah in the slot. Dude runs a 4.340. Talking about Micah Parsons. So he said Preston used to be cornerback one. So,
Them old Joe Barry days, right?
exactly. All right. So yeah, that's just interesting. That's an interesting conversation. I'm glad we kind of uncovered that because it does look like if Nate Hobbs isn't available, I think it's going to have to be Keyshawn Nixon. And then at that point, you bring Bo Melton in off the I don't know. Did we ever see Kamal Haddon in the slot? Because he plays pretty physical, I felt like, in tackling. I don't know, man.
Jacob, didn't we see him in that last game?
I was just going to say, I thought I remember him playing slot live at that game for, I think, a good solid quarter or two. So maybe that might be the break glass in case of emergency.
My only thought is that they have more faith in the safety room than the corner room. So you would max out at running. I mean, your three corners are, Hobbs, Keyshawn, and Carrington. After that, we're sparse. You have four safeties you kind of really like, and then you still have Zane, and you still. I mean, I feel like, and even still, you could probably honestly run nickel still and be fine, and just have Coop cover somebody or Quay cover somebody. As long as they still have a tight end out there, you could still run, your dime looks out of nickel and be fine with it.
Or you drop X into the slot as an emergency, right?
I feel like it'd be Williams that would be quicker to do that, but
yeah. X played closer to the ball the majority of the time, especially in the second half of the season when teams just stopped throwing deep. We just started putting him in the box and putting Evan back there at post safety. So, yeah, I think X can do anything. I think X could play outside corner if you needed him to. I mean, that dude is just he's so freaking good.
X gonna give it to you.
Exactly. So Mike Spofford, some more injury news here. He said center Elton Jenkins back at practice for the Packers after missing Monday. LaFleur said he'd be limited. Cornerback Nate Hobbs went through stretch but did not have pads on for practice, as we talked about. And then wide receiver Jaden Reed also not practiced. And some people, fan base seemed a little split. Some people seem to think that's by design. Keep resting him. Don't try to put too much pressure on that Jones fracture on his foot. Other people are going, hold up, now he's trending backwards. I don't know how you guys see it. I think I would lean more into this is precautionary. I mean, we kind of expected. I didn't expect him to go out there. Like, I was surprised the other day when he actually practiced after we found out it was a Jones fracture, Yeah. And then I expected more of this with Jaden Reed just kind of taking it easy, practice, make sure you're going through the walkthrough, all that stuff. But, hey, don't put any extra pressure on that foot. He knows the offense, right? Yeah. We know he's the best receiver on the team. Statistically, the last 2 years, you know what he's capable of doing. If there's anybody that can afford to miss a little bit of practice, I think it's him. And is the other thing, too, not being out there with team drills and stuff, you can still work the jugs machine, right? So,
yeah, I agree. I think you hold him out, keep them limited during practices and use up all that gas in the tank on the game day, right? And then hopefully get through the game and let him rehab, let him work his way back for the following week. I don't think you're worried about Bird missing, significant practice time. Like you said, he knows the offense.
Yeah. As J. Cole says here, I think Reed should have gotten the surgery. I can understand that opinion. I know I've seen other fans that were talking about that as well. The problem when you decided not to have the surgery is everybody was banged up in the wide receiver room. So, I mean, if he has surgery and at the time, we don't know if Dontavion Wicks was going to be back because of the calf and so on and so forth. Remember, you guys remember too, Romeo Doubs had a little bit of a back injury, I believe. And then we were worried, all right, was that a concussion? What happened there? Because he kind of dropped out of practice after hitting the ground. And I don't know, all that stuff. It's easy to look back now and go, we should have done this. But at the time, you're going, boy, we got to have receivers catch freaking football. Everybody's banged up right now,
Yeah.
So,
and if Reed would have had the surgery, he would have been done, right, for the year, basically.
I don't know if he'd have been done for the year or not, Tim. That's a great question. Maybe somebody can answer that in the chat. But I kind of feel like it would have definitely been the back half of the season, though, at least.
For sure, yeah.
So Mike Brand becoming a new member here on YouTube. Appreciate the support, buddy. We'll make sure that you're entered into the giveaways. We give away autographed memorabilia stuff that's just parts of my collection that I'm giving away to people who are supporting the channel. And we'll put your name on the wheel and spin that sucker for sure. John Schmidt says, I'm really starting to worry about these banged up guys playing 2 games in 4 days. That's another factor. Jacob, Emilio, that's a big, big deal right there, man. Again, when you look at the schedule, if you take a glance at it here, you got the Lions, it's going to be a very, very, very physical game on Sunday, and you got to turn right back around Thursday and play another physical team, obviously with that tough defense in Washington.
Yeah, to me, it would make a little more sense as to why they maybe are limiting guys like Hobbs, Elton, maybe even Banks. Who knows? Just because, like John's talking about here, if we can get through that initial onslaught against Detroit relatively injury-free, well, yeah, we got to turn around and play Washington 7:15 on Thursday night. So to me, it does make a little bit of sense as to why they may be trying to like kind of ease guys in. Same thing with Parsons, maybe put him on a snap count, use him more towards, if it's a guy like Parsons, try to limit those snaps to end of the game, kind of be more influential kind of thing there. But I don't know about you guys. I'm starting to get a little more worried about Elton Jenkins not being ready to go and what that means for the rest of the line. Because wouldn't that mean Ryan's going to slip over to center, probably Jordan Morgan at right guard? Does that sound like how it would usually play out for you guys?
Yeah, Sean Ryan's definitely the backup center. I'm not as worried about that. I feel like if Elton's not out there, I don't look at the Detroit Lions defensive tackles like they're world breakers right now. You know what I mean? Because Emilio, they're banged up there at the defensive tackle spot. So I personally don't.
Tyleek Williams, the rookie coming in there as probably their main guy right now. They're a little rough at the D tackle.
And he could be a dog. We don't know, right? But right now at this point, there's no one that should be able to say, oh, yeah, he's dominant, right? But, yeah, Jacob, I'm not as concerned about that because, again, what did you do in free agency? You went and got Aaron Banks, and then also you drafted Anthony Belton in the second round. So I feel like they did exactly what we talked about they should do immediately following the Philadelphia game, which was, hey, we need to bolster this offensive line a little bit. So I feel a little bit better about that. However, don't get me wrong. If Elton Jenkins is out there, they should be able to pretty well dominate on the interior, look for a lot of duo looks, and let's see how Matt LaFleur is going to get creative, marrying up duo run to play action pass as well. So going to be really, really interesting. As Clint, the armchair quarterback, says, the Washington Commanders have the same problem, talking about the short week, and that's a very, very good point. We always
and they're traveling. They have to travel. We don't, right? Like Coach Len was saying in the chat, at least both of these games are at home. Thank God.
Absolutely. Now, someone who does look healthy now, excited about this, as you can see Jay Love out here throwing the rock around. Somebody else had a video of him throwing, running to his left, rolling out left, throwing across his body, and just absolutely nailing the net. Jordan Love, to me, he looks good. Obviously, he's still got the bandage or the cast, whatever you want to call it, the wrap on that left hand, but he's taking snaps pretty consistently now. Looks pretty good. I think we're going to be fine there. And again, this is the type of game that you don't want to go out there and try to wing that thing around 40 times, 50 times. I think let's press into the run, try to play with the lead. It's how they should have played the Lions last year. Tim, you were right there in house for the rain game. And I'm telling you, man, we were way too aggressive trying to throw the football in that monsoon. They should have stuck to the run. And I remember at halftime going, the Lions are literally just letting the Packers beat themselves. They're just kind of playing it conservative and leaning on them a little bit. Lo and behold, you get the pick six. I believe that was in the middle eight, if I remember correctly. You lost the turnover differential and the middle eight.
That killed the whole game right there. That pick six, that was it right there for sure. With Jay Money, too, looking at the wrap on the left hand, clearly it's amenable at this point, right? It looks way less invasive than what he had on his hand a week ago. So I think it's just him getting used to that. And I think he's going to be fine. But I'm with you, Clay. Hopefully on Sunday they run that old, Malik Willis game plan with Jordan Love under center, right? Let's run the ball. Let's run some RPO looks. And take your shots when you can. But, the thing that killed us last year against the Lions was trying to force that ball down the field. And, Kirby Joseph and the boys just kind of ate it up all day long.
Yeah. Jacob, what do you think, man? You concerned about Love here? You think we're good to go, man? You think this is pretty much behind us here, man?
I'm pretty confident in Love. I'd say I think he's maybe around 90% of what he should be. I like what is it Biz 1987 says, I want to see Love run more, be smart, but run. I think even Jordan Love admitted that last year he didn't feel comfortable enough with the groin, with the other injuries that he had to really use that mobility, which limits his game, I think, a ton, because he is, he's not Patrick Mahomes back there, but he's definitely not a pocket, doesn't need to be a pocket passer. He's got some wheels, he's got some moves, and he's got every single arm angle that he can use to get the ball to where he needs to. It's just him being a little more confident in his body, in those legs. So right now I'm pretty excited with where his progress is. He said too that come week one, he's not going to be limiting how he's handing the ball off either. It's going to be full go. He plans using that left hand and not kind of shaking things up that way. So I'm excited about it.
What do you think, Emilio, when you're on the sticks, man? How would you get Jordan Love more involved with the running game in terms of scrambling? Would it be RPR, RPO? What are you thinking, man?
A little bit of RPO. If we can get his back turned to the ball a little bit and him feel comfortable with that, I like it. You have Josh Jacobs. You feed him early in the first. You kind of open up the rest of the game. That tape job is kind of fresh though. I would probably run that thumb tape if I created a quarterback and was just taking them through trying to road to glory it. It'd be kind of a clean look. But he's I think he's going to be fine. We can turn left and right handed to Josh, bring in a little motion, keep the defense honest, try to work the defense horizontally with speed, see what Matthew Golden's got. I don't think Love's going to have to do as much work as we think. We have a lot of guys that can spin it after he gets the ball to them. So I don't want him to take seven step drops and, like you were saying, try to hum it 40 yards downfield every other play. We don't need that.
Yeah, yep. I like what Chuck Jagger said here too. Screens and duo, take a few play action looks. The screen game, man, that's something that Josh Jacobs was a damn good receiver last year, man. Very, very underrated catching the football. So that'd be another way to kind of neutralize that pass rush. Drop a couple screens in early, a couple slip screens, maybe on the opposite side of our boy Aiden Hutchinson. That's going to be very, very interesting. So Biz 1987 says RPR ? If you're asking what an RPR is, it's a run pass run option. Which, if you know what a run pass option and what an RPO is basically you come to the line and there's a pass option and a run option in the same play, meaning you put the ball in the belly of the running back and you've got a conflict defender that you're reading. It might be the slot corner, it might be the will backer. If they bite on the run, you pull the ball out of the belly and throw the ball, whether it's a lookie on a slant or it might be a bubble screen or a smoke screen, that type of thing. You've got a run pass option baked into the play, and it's not you're making the decision pre-snap. 99% of the time, you're not making the decision pre-snap. Now, with an RPR is where you're getting into a run pass option. Same thing applies. And then as you pull the ball to throw with the RPR, you may have something baked in to where the lineman will stay put, make sure they're not beyond the line of scrimmage, and then you roll out with the quarterback to where you've got an option for the quarterback to then run after he reads downfield. Most of the time, there's not a bubble or a smoke attached to that. It might be a lookie and then work your way into taking a peek at a dig. And if they cover the run and they get back on the pass, the quarterback now has an option to run the ball. The Philadelphia Eagles ran RPRs all year last year. It's what is referred to as the six-back offense. From a defensive standpoint, it's all a numbers game. You've typically got five targets that you've got to cover, right? And what that means is you got the running back and four receivers, or the running back, three receivers and a tight end, or the running back, two tight ends, two wide receivers, so on and so forth, right? So you've got five guys that you've got to account for. You don't have to worry about the quarterback. You don't have to worry about the five offensive linemen, right? So you've just got those five you've got to watch for. With the RPR, it's also known as the six-back offense because you now have six guys you've got to account for. Most defenses don't even account for the quarterback. They're trying to rush the quarterback, and then they're covering the five guys going out in the route. But if the quarterback has the option to run after reading the defense, that's where you typically, again, it's all about numbers. It's all about staying +1 with the hat count. And if your quarterback is uncovered, that's the RPR look, the six-back offense. Hopefully that explains. And again, nobody's saying Jordan Love is Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen or anybody like that, right? We know he's not that style of runner. But if you mix in some RPR, they did a lot of that his first year as a starter, and that's why you've seen Love out on the edge running a lot more. Couldn't do it last year, and that's why, again, I continue to praise Matt LaFleur because, man, he didn't have that option with Love when Love was in the lineup. And it also explains why when Malik Willis came in, it was a little more dynamic because he wasn't facing a knee injury, right? Malik Willis was clocked at damn near 20 mile an hour running football. So
I had a question for you, Clay and fellas. Do you think, regardless of game plan or personnel deployment, do you think we'll see a variance in how often Jordan's under center versus shotgun or pistol with that thumb issue on the left hand? Do you think we'll see less under center and more him taking pistol or shotgun?
I want to get your all's take on that, but there's something that kind of piqued my interest earlier today. I heard Jason Wilde say that Jordan Love said he's going to continue to hand off with his right hand, even to the opposite side. Now, he didn't specify if that's just in practice or in the game, but that when you hear that, Tim, it does make you think it might be somewhat limited early because of that thumb. What do you guys think? Jacob, Emilio, what do y'all think about it?
I did not hear that, Clay. So, I mean, that doesn't worry me. I think that maybe he's just trying to protect it as much as possible. I almost think, I mean, yeah, you could catch it. I feel like you could still jam it even off a shotgun catch, though. You know, if you catch it wrong, I would almost think he might feel a little bit more comfortable under center because if you're putting your two thumbs together and kind of opening it like, a jaw or whatever. So you're able to kind of control it, maybe put your right hand just in front of it a little bit, protect it a little more. So maybe the first couple games we see him under center a little bit, but a little bit more. That's, I guess I didn't really think of it like that. And I didn't hear that he's still handing it off right. I don't.
Yeah, and he didn't specify, Jacob, whether it was just practice or not. But as Jen Wright says, Love said he can hand off left-handed, but needs to get his strength back. So it sounds like they're just kind of playing it safe. Does that make sense? So.
Yeah, that's what I heard too in the interview that they released today on Packers.com. Ron Sanville says he heard the opposite as well. He said he can hand the ball off normal. That's what I got from the interview, but who knows? And things can happen in the meantime to kind of make things swell up a little bit or become a little more uncomfortable. But right now, I think I'd rather, like Tim's point, I think I'd maybe like to see him more in some shotgun sets, pistol sets. But I'm not a doctor.
Get Big E to snap that ball right to his right hand, right? You just catch it and throw it, right? For sure.
One point here before we get to the injury report, Hardhead72 said, hopefully nobody takes the blueprint, control Parsons in the playoffs in 23. We made him disappear. You know what that blueprint was, Hardhead? Go up by 2 scores. That's all that was, right? Every pass rusher is going to be neutralized when you're playing from 2 scores behind and the other team starts to run the football, because now you've got to key in on the run more, and that opened up more pass where they could really go down the field. I feel comfortable saying this. If we come out and we go down by 2 scores, I don't expect Parsons to be near as effective. That's what happened in that game, in my opinion. And again, we had a pick 6, damn near 2 pick 6s. You'll remember Jair almost took one to the house, and then Darnell Savage did take one to the house. So that's how you go up by a big lead, obviously, and especially later in the game when they had to pass the ball pretty much on an every down basis. So
I love it. And our defense is definitely better than it was in 2023, right? So you're ready for that.
Yeah, and being able to control the run as well is huge. I'm telling you, man, that's the big thing. And I know we ain't got to worry about Hafley getting cute or anything like that, but the blueprint should stay the same. Stop the run. Stop the freaking run. We, with the addition of Parsons, you shouldn't have any problem stopping the pass. But if you get out there and you get too overly aggressive, it's kind of the defense's version of what I hated what Dan Orlovsky said, that the Packers need to be ultra aggressive on offense now. Okay, yeah, do that, superhero. Go out there and go down -2 in the turnover differential. And once you get your ass kicked, that's what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, let's get into the injury report. Zane Anderson, limited participation with the knee. You had Nate Hobbs, did not participate. Obviously, he was out there, but didn't participate in the team drills. Elton Jenkins was limited. Jordan Love, full participation. Micah Parsons, limited. Jaden Reed did not participate. We'll find out if that was actually a day off or if he maybe had a setback. Barron Sorrell, Dontavion Wicks, and Savion Williams all were limited as well. To me, that injury report looks pretty darn good, guys. I don't know how y'all feel. Again, Jaden Reed, we don't have the details. Matt LaFleur darn sure isn't going to tell anybody the details there. But if that's precautionary, I feel pretty good about this injury report. But it is looking to me like Nate Hobbs probably not going to play on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at Jaden Reed. I would think he's going to be did not participate or limited throughout practices for at least the first part of this season. Going forward. And then, like we said, with Nate Hobbs with the knee coming off the surgery, the rehab, starting to run around a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a no-go. But I'm with you, Clay. I think you got to feel good about Savion Williams, Tay Wicks, and Barron Sorrell all limited out there. More than likely going to play at least some way, shape, or form on Sunday. I think we're all excited to see those guys, especially Savion Williams and Barron Sorrell are rookie guys that we really want to see in the fire out there.
Yeah, for sure. And Jen Wright with an important piece of information. She said it was a planned rehab day for Reed. So that's
Nice.
great news. That's absolutely great news. So, Jacob, I think you had something else, Mark, just now you were wanting to hit. I just wanted to hit on that real quick because that's the first I had heard of that. I think that's great news.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Coach Len just was kind of highlighting what you were talking about with Barron Sorrell. He said Sorrell being back is a big deal for special teams alone. I agree with that. And plus, I love this stat that out of all rookie edges in all of preseason, he had the highest quarterback hit or highest quarterback hit percentage, which that was one game he played, guys. So imagine this edge room if we have just yet another young stud that is absolutely champing at the bit. It's going to be very, very fun. And yeah, to get him back out there on that special teams presence, we forget about special teams until it bites us in the butt. And we've seen it happen far too many times over the last few years if you're a Packer fan. So anytime we can shore up that we fence, as they call it, I hate that so much.
So on Detroit's side, you've got you want to help me with that name there, Emilio? Who's that guard down there, sir? What's his name?
That, my friend, is Mr. Coyote
Yeah.
Did you say peyote? Is that what you said?
Yeah, peyote. Yep.
That's what you were doing back in the holler, right? You were doing a little peyote, Clayton?
Oh my God, man. I immediately think of Young Guns where he goes, "You see the size of that chicken?" We need that drop, by the way. We got to get that. Trevor, help me with that one.
Nowaski.
All right, so that's a linebacker with an elbow.
Not gonna play on Sunday.
Did not participate. And then you got Jacob's guy, Isaac Tesla, right? Is that how you
told
say
you?
it? Tesla?
I think it's Tesla, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He had an illness. All right, so he was limited. And then Sean Vaki.
Sione Vaki. Come on, Clay. He was
one of Emilio's guys.
Safety from Utah. We transferred him over. Made sure he was a running back. Yeah, come on now.
We got to change Travis Glover's picture to well, he did not participate as well. Now you look at that injury report and you think that don't look too bad for the Lions, right? Well, let's pull up the PFF breakdown here real quick, and I just want to point out that did not mention the players that are on IR. So when you look at the Lions side, there you've got McNeil, 79.6 last year. He is on the PUP, so he's out. You got Malcolm Rodriguez, I think is his name, right? Linebacker with the leg injury on the PUP. He was a 74.4 last year. He is out. You got, say it for me, Emilio. What's this one? Ozarike, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, finally got it right. Defensive lineman with the leg, PUP, 70.2 last year. He's going to be out, right? And then, of course, you got Pascal with edge defender, NFI, and then the other guys that we had mentioned there, obviously, on the list. So I point that out because you look at that injury report and you think the Lions are in good shape. Guys, they're missing their two top defensive tackles and one of their better linebackers as well. So just got to kind of keep that in mind as well. So anything else you guys want to hit on in terms of the injury report before we get ready to wrap this big bear up here? Good.
No, I don't think so.
Tay Wicks hopefully is
Let's see here.
go.
Yeah, that's one that's a little weird.
That was a calf injury as well, right?
Yeah, and these aren't official, but these are just kind of their projected status based off of how PFF feels.
Yeah.
They have Wicks listed as questionable here.
That's good.
So
Better than doubtful, right? We'll take
absolutely.
that. Especially considering with what I look right to Dontavian Wicks when I look at what Jaden Reed's dealing with. I'm assuming Reed's going to be week to week to week to week.